What were your interviews like?
So for me, I had two interviews during the interview day. So my first one it was quite relaxed. Like I was super nervous going into it, but the interviewers were very, very nice and super calming. They asked me things about. I'd mentioned on my personal statement that I'd done a research placement in the summer of like year 12 and year 13. They asked me about that and other things I'd mentioned in my personal statement, like the books that I'd read. And then they started by asking me quite a small computer science problem and then built it up to the point of where I couldn't answer it and didn't know where to go, just to, get a feeler of how to teach me. My second interview was more of a maths-based one, and rather than slowly building it up, they just asked me like 4 or 5 questions that were all entirely separate. Just maths questions that were like around the A-level syllabus.
And did you do any preparation for your interviews?
So for my interviews, in terms of preparation, I didn't really know what to prepare because I wasn't sure if my interviews were going to be completely computer science based or completely maths based. When I was at school, my maths teachers were really helpful in that during lunchtime they asked me a few hard maths problems and got me to talk through how I was working it, like in the 2 days before my interviews, just as like a little practice run. I'm not sure how useful that was, but that was really the only preparation I did other than reading over my personal statement and looking a little bit through A-level maths.
And did you have to do any tests before or after interviews?
So back when I applied for computer science, the tests were slightly different to what they are now. I had to do the CSAT, which is a computer science admissions test, at interview. So I had my 2 interviews in the morning and then went to a different room in Queen's at like 5 p.m. and did a 2-hour exam that was completely maths based. It was probably the hardest exam I've ever done, and it kind of spooked me afterwards. I wasn't sure whether I would get in because I didn't think I'd done very well on it, but it all turned out okay in the end.
And how did you feel before and after and during your interview?
Before, I was extremely nervous and I thought I was going to mess everything up. During the interview, one of the interviews, the first computer science one, I thought that it went reasonably okay and I felt pretty good afterwards, but then during the maths interview, I made a few very silly mistakes that were just like very basic maths that I should have known, and because of that I thought that I'd messed it up, so after my interviews I felt like I hadn't got in and I was just worrying for like the majority of December.
And you were wrong.
Yeah, I was wrong.